Today I want to talk about anxiety, specifically how autistic people and ADHDers are impacted by anxiety. Today's video has been sponsored by Rinkl, a site that I've started using recently and I'm pretty excited about. I'll tell you more about that later in the video. Since I was diagnosed with ADHD in 2020, on top of my autism diagnosis from 2016, from now on I'm going to be making videos about living with both conditions. This is for two reasons. Firstly, although they are two distinct conditions, there is a lot of overlap between ADHD and autism, so it makes sense that the topics that I cover in my videos will be relevant for people with either condition. Secondly, as someone who is both autistic and an ADHDer, I've struggled to find content for people who have both conditions. So I'm going to make that content. The content will definitely be relevant if you only have ADHD or autism, but it will be extra helpful, hopefully, if, like me, you have both. If this kind of content sounds like something that would be helpful for you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Anyway, on with the video. One of the biggest challenges in life when you are neurodivergent is dealing with anxiety. Interestingly though, many of us don't realise that we are living with anxiety until we have that breakthrough moment. In my case, it went a little something like this. Gosh, anxiety sounds really hard. I'm glad I don't deal with that. I can't possibly change my plans today, because if I do, I'm going to feel really overwhelmed, slightly nauseous, and I might end up having a meltdown. I had such a fun time with my friend today, but now I'm a little bit worried that I might have done or said something to offend her, and I can't really feel settled until I know that that's okay. What? You mean to tell me that the worry, wobbly tummy, overwhelmed feeling is anxiety? Okay, yes, I have a big problem with anxiety. So, why do neurodivergent people experience anxiety? Anxiety is not considered a symptom of autism or ADHD, but it's extremely common in both conditions. This could be explained by the stresses of being different in a world that isn't designed to suit our needs. There will likely have been times when socialising, family, work and education have been difficult for us to navigate. We have been judged for our differences, bullied and excluded from social and work opportunities, so it's no surprise that future social and work opportunities might cause anxiety. We have struggled to meet demands placed on us because of our difficulties with executive functioning. This means that future demands placed on us can feel unmanageable and cause anxiety. When faced with a new situation or demand, we look at it from every angle to see how it could possibly go wrong and lead to very bad things. This is called catastrophizing, and it's an anxiety-led behaviour. This leads to every aspect of life feeling like a place where we can get things wrong and then face negative consequences for getting things wrong. Additionally, our self-esteem has likely been dented by these experiences, and it's difficult to lead life confidently and comfortably when you have fluctuating or low self-esteem. Our sensory needs can lead to anxiety. We might anticipate an environment or a situation being problematic based on previous experiences. This can lead to phobias or anxieties around leaving the house. For autistic people, empathy can lead to anxiety. This is my very unscientific explanation based on previous experiences. I feel a lot of empathy, to the point where I can tell if something is wrong for someone as soon as I enter a room. All of this empathy means that I feel responsible for other people's feelings, and I feel guilty and like I need to fix it if I can sense that something's wrong. Essentially, I can't feel okay or settled if I can sense that somebody else isn't okay. This leads to a lot of anxiety because I'm anxious whenever I sense that somebody else isn't okay. For ADHDers, uncertainty around performance can lead to anxiety. We know what we need to do, but between emotional regulation, perfectionism, impulsivity and difficulty focusing, we don't know whether we're going to be able to meet our goals, and this causes anxiety. There are so many aspects of life as a neurodivergent person which can lead to anxiety. Reducing my anxiety has been top of the list of my self-care goals, so these are the strategies that I use to manage my anxiety. Firstly, exercise is a fantastic way to manage anxiety. It literally floods our brain with happy chemicals, and I always feel better after I exercised. Sadly, it's not easy for me to exercise anymore because of my physical disabilities, but I find that even a gentle walk or some slow stretching definitely does help. Another aspect of how I keep my anxiety levels down is how I organise my schedule and my demands. If I feel on top of my to-do list and on top of my schedule and where I need to be and when I need to be there, I live with less underlying anxiety. However, organising myself with poor executive functioning skills is tough. I'm still working to find that perfect organisation system, but I've definitely learnt a lot about what doesn't work for me. My organisation system cannot be too relaxed or I end up procrastinating and not getting anything done. It also can't be too rigid or I end up getting bored and rebelling, or something goes wrong and I can't stick to it and then I end up stressing out about how to get back on track for the rest of the day. I find that keeping it simple is the way forward for me. So basically a diary with my schedule and a to-do list with my tasks. It's not as satisfying to implement as a system like bullet journaling or calendar blocking, but it definitely seems to work. I'm currently working on a system within my calendar to-do list, which is going really well. So once I'm confident that that works well, I'll share it with you guys, probably on my TikTok, in case that's helpful for someone else. Side note, I do TikTok now, so if you fancy checking me out over there, I am Purple Ella and Coco. The next strand of my self-care to avoid anxiety strategy is actual self-care. Basic stuff like eating mostly healthy foods, getting enough sleep. When possible, my brain is a huge fan of middle of the night waking. Meeting my sensory needs, drinking enough water, taking my meds. Adding things to my life which make me happy, like catching up with my friends. Crafting, time with my dog Coco, and buying myself little treats like bubble tea and the occasional new t-shirt. The next part of my anxiety management plan is all about self-esteem and feeling good about myself. I'm definitely less anxious when I'm feeling good about myself, but that's an ongoing process and there are days when that's really hard. So I have to invest time and energy working on my self-esteem and feelings of self-worth. Project Feel Good About Myself involves 3 aspects. First up, doing things or accessing things which make me feel good about myself and my life. So, reminding myself that the work I do here has value, and you guys are so lovely and you often leave me messages or send me emails reminding me of that, so I can always check those to remind myself that that is true. Or reminding myself that my children and my husband, they love me and they benefit from my care. The second aspect of this is lowering expectations I have on myself, and this involves working on my internalised ableism. I made a whole video about internalised ableism, and I'll leave a link to that in the description box so that you can look at that if you want to. It's knowing that I'm disabled and therefore I need to keep my expectations realistic and in line with what I'm capable of without worsening overload or worsening EDS symptoms. It's knowing that productivity isn't value and that I am enough just as I am. That way I can feel good about myself and what I'm doing without feeling bad about the support that I need and the rest that I need to be able to do those things. The final aspect of Project Feel Good About Myself is challenging negative thoughts. My brain is fond of making super fun statements like, "You are so neurotic and difficult to be around, and it really would be much better if you could stop being such hard work." Or, "You don't do a proper job and you work part-time, which means that you basically failed at having a career and have nothing to be proud of." But I'm not going to listen to this negative nonsense. Okay, I am sometimes, and I'm going to cry and eat lots of chocolate and watch repeat episodes of Miranda. Instead, I'm going to challenge those negative, faulty thoughts into submission. I'm going to tell myself that I have evidence that people like spending time with me, that I can't help the difficulties that I have. They are literally part of my neurology. I was born this way. I will remind myself that the work that I do has value and that as well as working part-time, I am raising 3 children with additional needs and being a loving partner to Mr. Purple. I do all of these things to manage my anxiety and I'm constantly learning new ways to keep my anxiety levels as low as possible. If you have any anxiety management strategies to add, I'd really appreciate it, so leave a comment below and share those with me and anyone else that might need them. Now I want to talk about the sponsors of this video, Rinkl, and the exciting new way that I'll be using Rinkl to connect with you. Rinkl is a video messaging platform and community which enables creators like me to share our knowledge, give advice and answer questions through personalised video messages. I absolutely love this idea. I get so many questions here and on my socials and I can't possibly properly answer them all, which sucks because I want to connect with everyone. With Rinkl, I'll have a focused place where I can spend time answering questions in a meaningful way. Hurrah! For a small fee, you can send me your questions and I'll respond with a video. The fee helps to support me as a creator. The link to my profile page on Rinkl is in the description box of this video and you can head there to ask me your questions. So ask me your autism or ADHD related questions and I'll do my very best to offer helpful solution-based responses, using my knowledge and experience gained both from my work here as a creator and as the parent of 3 neurodivergent children. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and I'll see you next week. Bye bye!